Hi, welcome back. My name is Megan if you're new, and here's the books I read in January. Let's jump into our stats and then we'll get into the reviews. Alrighty, so we had 4 books, which was 1,244 pages, which is about 40 pages per day. 3 of them were done physically and 1 was an audiobook. We had 1 new author and 3 authors I've read from before. 2 were a part of a series and 2 were standalones. And here is my Fable tracker for the month. It shows you what days I read each book, and it's interesting to look at. All right, let's jump in. And I forgot to mention I had 2 poetry, 1 fantasy romance, and 1 regular romance. I am clearly being very chaotic. I am so stressed out. Not in like a terrible, terrible way, but we're moving. I've said this in other videos before, but I am running out of time to pack everything. I need to pack this bookshelf either today or tomorrow, but I also have not filmed this wrap up or the February wrap up or a book haul and a couple other things, and I am just all over the place. I am no stranger to moving. This is like my 10th time moving, over 10 times. And definitely there's been plenty where I've been old enough to pack everything. My dad was in the Navy, so we are definitely used to packing up our house and moving somewhere else, but it just takes time. It's a lot of moving parts. Everything in the house is just chaotic, so I'm going to try and film these so I have a lot to edit in the future and I can just do it as I go. But for now, this bookshelf needs to get packed, so I need to film these videos so I can start packing everything and get it going. But let's start off with our first one. This is Maybe This Time by Kasie West. I gave this a 2.5 stars, which is very unfortunate because I have read most everything by Kasie West and I've always liked it. It's a young adult romance. They're usually based on pretty simple concepts, and you kind of know by the end of it they're gonna fall in love. There's nothing, it's a very simple, easy read. And this one I just haven't come across at a bookstore until just recently, so I decided to get it and pick it up. And I was just really disappointed with this one. I felt like the relationship was just I wasn't believing in their relationship. This follows our girl and our guy. They work at this event restaurant center and they go to these events with the restaurant doing the catering, and they argue and fight the entire book. She's super mean to him. He's super mean to her. You want me to believe that they're supposed to end up together at the end and it's just happily ever after? I don't know. It's one thing to have a relationship where you maybe don't get along at first, but then you realize that maybe you were being mean or that you were in the wrong and that you should have given the other person a chance. But this book, the entire time, she was such a bitch to him. And I don't know what other way to put it. Like, she was being such a bitch, and I just don't know that I don't think they should be together. Like, I feel like he deserved better than her. I don't know. That's why I gave it 2.5 stars. It's very unfortunate, and I'm sad to tell you. I hope that if you like Kasie West and you've liked her previously, then maybe this one will work for you. But for me, it wasn't hitting the spot and it just felt very long. This book is like 350 pages and I just felt like it was dragging by the end of it. I just wanted it to be done with. I just wanted them to be together at the end and just move on. But I wanted to finish it out because I was so close to getting to the end, so that's why I did. I don't know. I'd still recommend other Kasie West books. I'm not really sure what Kasie West novel is my favorite. This one was definitely at the lower end. So hopefully in the future when she writes more books, maybe I'll be interested in those stories and I'll pick them up, but I'm not sure. Next up, we got Whiskey Words and a Shovel, Volume 1 by R.H. Sin. This is poetry about taking the power back and going into healthy relationships and loving yourself even when you find yourself in bad situations and bad relationships. It's more important to love yourself. I did tab this one up pretty good. I gave it 3.5 stars, and I will round it down to 3 stars on Goodreads, but keep it at the 3.5 stars on Fable. I did like a good amount of the poems in here, but overall, I didn't really find that the whole collection itself was very special. Like, it didn't do anything crazy. I enjoyed it for what it was, but it didn't like blow my socks off. So that's why it's getting the 3.5 star. I still will pick up more from R.H. Sin in the future. Other than those pages being my favorite pages, I don't really have anything else to say about this. Moving on. Alrighty, next up, I'm going to go for my next poetry, and then we'll hit on my last book, which was my highest rated book of the month, but we'll just touch on this real quick. This is The Way Back Home by Courtney Peppernell. This is poetry about finding your strength, heartbreak, and life during COVID. It was very interesting to read someone else's perspective of their COVID experience. I thankfully did not have a miserable time during COVID. It was, I guess, kind of a nice break from reality. I was in college at the time, so it was just kind of us hanging out and, you know, not having to go to school or work, and it was kind of awesome. But I could understand that there were some aspects of COVID that were very stressful and sad, and it was interesting to see her perspective on that. And I didn't tab this one up very much, like, at all. I don't know if you could see that. It was only a few pages. It had a good theme, and it touched on a lot of different ways to mentally build your strength back up, and it did it in ways like building a house and made references to that throughout the book, and that was really cool. All of the artwork in here is beautiful, and I do really enjoy her books that include all of that. And I gave this 3 stars, but I don't know that it really deserves a 3 star. I'm not going to go change my rating, but I don't know, it hasn't stuck with me. Like, I feel like I don't really even remember kind of a lot that happens in this. That also might be because it's March and I'm going back to books that I'm reading in January, so maybe that's my own fault. I think it can be very impactful for some people. It just happened to not be very impactful for me, but I still like this author and will continue to pick up her work in the future because I did definitely enjoy certain parts of it. Alrighty, next up is To Steal a Bride by Daniela A. Mera. I loved this book. I gave it 4.5 stars. I will round it up to 5 stars on Goodreads. And speaking of Goodreads, Goodreads is an app that you can keep track of your reading and any books you've read or you're currently reading, and you can see reviews from other people and you can post your own reviews. And I've linked my Goodreads, my Fable, and my Instagram in the description below in case you want to follow any of those. You can also see how crazy I am on Goodreads because I add links from my YouTube videos into Goodreads. So let's say you want to read this book and you don't want to hear me talk about it now, so you skip through this section. You down the line read this book and you're like, oh, I want to go hear what Megan has to say about it, but I can't remember what video she talks about it in. Go to my Goodreads. It'll have the links to all of the videos that I ever even mentioned this in. You can see the Read It or Unhaul video that I just posted that I read this for. You'll see the book haul or links to this video or any other video I mentioned this book. And that's for all of the books that I've ever talked about. It's over there. So you can always find all of the YouTube videos that whatever book I talk about, it'll be listed there. That's where my organizational brain was like, all right, I will do this for the people. But let's jump back into this. So this, yeah, I gave 4.5 stars. I absolutely loved it. It is a fantasy romance book about this girl. Her name is Estella, and she is a human. and she is living in this world with all of these other species of people, of elves and trolls and giants and mean creatures, and there's, I'm sure, a lot more to explore as the series goes on. But as a human, they are considered very weak compared to all the rest of the species in this world. And so a lot of the humans are enslaved to, in this case, Estella is enslaved to the giants, and the giants use the humans as physical laborers. And if the humans die, they die, and they just get new humans to repopulate their workforce. So Estella is on her way with the giant. The giants are trading with the trolls, and once Estella gets to the troll territory, we end up getting back and forth chapters between Estella and Teo, and he's trying to figure out how to save her while she is very not trusting of anyone because humans are not treated very well in this world, and she's just trying to escape. She's trying to save her brother and does not trust anyone. Teo, on the other hand, is trying to figure out how to save her without starting a war, because there is a peace treaty between the trolls and the giants, and he doesn't want to cause war for all of his people by just stealing this one girl. And it's just chaos from there. They learn to coexist, and it's slow burn, enemies to lovers, found family. There's a very cool magic system that involves crystals in here. It was such a good time. I don't want to say too much more because I don't want to spoil what happens in this book. The only reason I gave it a 4.5 star instead of a full 5 star is the writing. The writing isn't terrible, but it could be better. There was some typos, there was some additional words that didn't need to be there, but it didn't happen all the time, and for me it wasn't too much. It probably just could have used one more read through, one more edit. It doesn't bother me as much as everyone else who really cares about the writing. I still felt it was very good. It was easy to just look over. It wasn't that big of a deal. It was just different. The fantasy element, the magic element in this was just different than other things I've read, and it was just a nice change. I really liked the romance in this. I liked the side characters. I liked the world building of all of these creatures and species and the adventures that they went on. I felt it was a really good time, and I'm excited to continue in the series. This one is a duology, so there is one more book after this following our two main characters in here, and then there is other companion books and companion series that follow the side characters. So I thought it was great. I can't wait to keep going. For anyone who does love romantasy and magical abilities, I would definitely recommend. All right, there we had it. Those were the 4 books I read in January. Thank you so much for watching. My favorite song for the month January was Tattoo, the Topic remix. As I say every month, it's a good one. You should listen to it. I wish I could play it for you, but due to copyright reasons, I don't want to get banned from YouTube. So you're gonna have to go listen to it yourself. I will link it down in the description below, so it's easy for you to click over if that's what you want. I also have a Spotify playlist with all of the favorite songs I mentioned in my wrap-ups in case you want to follow along on that playlist, or don't. Either way, like, subscribe, comment, check out my links in the description for these books that I talk about. They're affiliate links, and as an Amazon associate, I earn from any qualifying purchases. Again, thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye!